Now see if I'm on. Whoa, we made it. We're live. Somebody talk to me. Somebody talk to me. 10 by 10. Jesus criminy. We are about to go systems down. Systems down. I'm good, Dragon Plaza. Let it play. Let it play. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I'm not sure what the situation was, but we're here. We are live. Thank the Lord now. Thank the Lord. Folks, I know that many of you. Hey, hello, YouTube world. Thank God. Yeah. So I know that many of you, we've been watching everything as it unfolds. So I want to talk about something that's big. Like, if you're missing, if you don't have a job, right? I'll tell you right now, the industry to get into is cybersecurity. Currently, there's over 1 million people that are working in cybersecurity in the United States, but there's nearly 600,000 unfilled positions. That's right. The Pentagon has unveiled its new 2023 cyber strategy, and it is a sobering picture, folks, of the looming cyber threats from China and Russia. As you see behind me, this is the cyber threat real time map. It'll kind of show you what's going on from China and Russia, not just China, but Russia also. The 2023 Department of Defense cyber strategy outlines how both nations are equipped to launch a series of cyber attacks targeting the U.S. critical infrastructure. Now, we've been talking about grid down, folks, and I'll tell you what, this new report just came out today. It is very sobering, and it could be very, very shitty. Let's just put it the truth out there for all of us. Folks, the U.S. critical infrastructure and defense networks are practicing in the event of a war. The revelation underscores the escalating global cyber conflict and places urgency on the United States for its own digital defenses. The, according to the unclassified summary made public just 2 days ago on September 12th, the, the tactics intended by China and Russia aim to target our critical infrastructure, which presents a very, very serious danger to the American people. They have been witnessed before, especially during the Russia invasion of Ukraine. And folks, as you see these lines zipping zapping behind me, that is the actual cyber threats that are happening right now in real time. The United States is challenged hugely by malicious cyber actors who seek to exploit our technological vulnerabilities. And the big, huge one is to undermine our military's competitive edge. Well, folks, ladies and gentlemen, think about this. Think about this in a realistic, down to earth way. Who has been purchasing lots and lots of land around our military bases? That's right, old China. They got it. Defending against and defeating these cyber attacks is a Department of Defense imperative. Folks, if we don't get our crap together, according to C4ISR.net, defense analysts have long labeled China and Russia as a national security risk. The 2023 strategy updates a previous version from 2018. So we've been slacking, even though we know I did a special last year, folks, on the kill switch. We know for a fact that there is transformers, many transformers inside of our own electrical grid that the United States scrubbed a document to keep it away from the American people's eyes. Now, that's something that we should all be concerned about because cyber espionage threats are very serious. It routinely conducts malicious cyber activity against the United States as well as our allies and partners, the document states. Additionally, these documents label Russia as an acute threat to the cybersecurity of the United States. Folks, if, or should I say when at this point, that they take our grid down, when they take our grid down, I want to say that the biggest thing they will be after is our infrastructure, our grid. Think about this. What if they take our hospitals down? We've already seen this happen in the United States where they took part of our hospitals offline. People were unable to access 911, people were unable to access emergency situations. That means that you would not be able to have a surgery. That means that no one would come to your rescue, right? Now, Gregory Dohill, he is a retired Air Force Brigadier General and former Chief Information Security Officers, has emphasized for the last 6 years, folks, the urgency of this situation. But what has the United States done? That's right, sat on their hands. See, cyber issues are everywhere in critical infrastructure, domestically and abroad. There's something front and center right now in the minds of our key senior leaders. And Tohill said this at a recent conference. The retired Air Force general added, "We continue, verbatim, to see critical infrastructure as a target for cyber-enabled attacks, including things like denial of service, malicious software, ransomware, and the theft of intellectual property." How many of you in the chat right now have been or had a situation happen to you where your identity was stolen? Hit a one. Have you been a victim of cyber issues? Actually, I'm getting another check from Amazon for their cyber issues. I'll tell you what, my bank account got hacked. I have a VPN, it didn't protect me. And if our own government can't protect the military and our infrastructure and our grids and our electrical grid, do you think a VPN's going to help us? Hell to the no no. Hell to the no no, it's not. I'll tell you what, these digital defense plans were revealed in March with pledge to employ all instruments of national power to counter cyber attacks. Will it occur? I think that we're at the point, folks, that the cyber attacks are going to get worse and worse. What is going to be the big oof to the United States? I'll tell you what it's going to be. When you wake up in the morning and you go to the ATM, and guess what, folks? Your ATM's not going to work. And guess what, folks? You're not going to have access to your casheroo. And when that happens, you will see people go absolutely crazy. Now, I want to slow this down and let me see if we can take a little closer look at here at the cyber situation. It's always interesting to watch as the world spins. So we're going to slide it over here and take a look. There is what's happening right now. Let me move my big head out of the way so that you can actually see. These are the cyber attacks that are happening right now around the world. If you notice, on the East Coast, they're really blasting it. They are blasting it, folks. It seems like there's a lot of activity right there up in the DC area. The DC is a foreign entity, and I think we should still build that wall. I think that we need to build that wall around DC, and they need to either move on out or something. I don't know. But let me see if I can get in here just a little closer here. There we go. Let's take a little closer gander here at what's going on. I'm gonna pop me over here in front of y'all. We don't need to see your big heads either. But as you can see there, the cyber threats, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, folks, are happening to the United States. We have many happening into the DC area as well as into New York. But then if you notice down in Texas and up toward our nuclear situation where we keep a lot of missiles, there is a lot of nuclear attacks happening there as well. And I think that the big thing that we need to pay attention to is how do we protect ourselves against cyber attacks like this? I will say right now, if you don't have silver, you might just be SOL in a very soon hit on the United States infrastructure. I don't think there's a way to contain the evil. The evil is running amok, Lenora, and it is too bad that we have come to this place in not only the United States but around the world. And you can see there, up in the far right-hand corner, right there, DC, boy, boom, boom. Now let's take it out a little bit, and I'll show you what's going on around the world because it is interesting to see, right, what is happening around the world. And it's not only happening in the United States, and that's what people need to realize, is it's happening everywhere, folks, everywhere. And the thing that we need to be on point about is getting some silver, protecting ourselves. Because without that, folks, I'll tell you what, we're going to wake up one day. And when we wake up, just think about this for a minute. This is what it's going to look like: darkness, no chitty chat, no one to come to your rescue, and no 911, no hospitals, nobody's going to save you. If I can say one thing to each and every one of you tonight, get on point. Don't be dragging your feet. Don't think that somebody's coming to your rescue. Because as the hackers come into the United States more and more, we're going to see total darkness. And when it goes black, no one is coming to protect you and your family but yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we prep. But this is going to be one of the hugest catastrophes in the history of the United States. This will be lights out. This will be no electric and no internet. You better have paper copies of everything and anything. You better have books to back you up and to make sure that you have the knowledge how to prepare food, how to do first aid, and you better learn the skills while you have the opportunity before everything goes black. We are promised that there's going to be a dark winter. They promised us that a couple years ago. Folks, when it all goes black, be prepared because they're going to come knocking at your door. People are going to want your preps. They're going to want your things. And then what if there's a medical emergency? What will you do then? I want to say to each and every one of you, I am bringing back the news. I'm going to bring it back hardcore. You might see the news 2 or 3 times a day, like we did at Off the Wall Prepper. If I get a strike, if somebody could drop my fake BS news, fake phony BS news, if one of my mods would drop that or a couple of them, please sub to that channel as our backup channel. Because when then I get going on the news, sometimes they like to give me the old batter up. And that's all right. I'm going to keep standing. I'm going to keep truth seeking. And I'm going to keep telling things as they're coming. God bless each and every one of you. God bless America. Y'all, get your head on a swivel and get out there and do the dang things. Fill in the gaps before fall and winter are upon us. Before it's cold and before grid goes black.